Let's review Ahsoka, and then we'll get to this.
All right.
What did you think of Ahsoka?
Jeez. So I thought it was the best, worst episode of the season.
I'm not on the ball today. Jesus Christ. Anyway, you see, there's the best, worst episode of the season, right? Okay, why?
So the up to this point, it's like I like spending more time with the bad guys in the show. Well,
Oh,
like
wasn't it good?
when the bad guys are on screen and I'm seeing what they're doing, I'm actually somewhat interested in what's happening. When I see Sabine or Ahsoka or any of the good guy people on screen, my interest is just gone. So
Yeah.
we got the introduction of Thrawn. You know, it was cool to see him, even though he came out with a little bit of the dad bod, rocking the dad bod for Thrawn, which is kind of out of character for him because anybody that knows Thrawn knows that he is very disciplined. He takes care of his body. He stays in good shape. He's always been real thin. And people are using the excuse that, you know, he's been stranded in this other galaxy for all this time, and he's older now. That's a lame excuse in my opinion.
I
But
think the age might be an okay excuse because it's surely he's supposed to be like 70 odd. Isn't he supposed to be like 70 odd?
no, I think it's supposed to be like 60.
Well, they stranded there for 30 years, so he must have been in his 30s then, surely.
I think he was in his late 20s.
Okay. Yeah, so 60,
I
70.
don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would have to go back and look at the timeline and all that sort of stuff, and
Yeah, that's
it's
all part of
all
it
out.
anyway.
It's all out there. But
But
anyway, anyways, one of the most frustrating things was, so you know, the end of last episode, I thought we might get a lot of people's questions answered on like what actually happened. Did Ahsoka die? Was that a force vision? You know what? Apparently it looked like she changed Ahsoka to the white. You know, she was like smiling and seemed to be a little bit less like depressed sounding.
chirp, yeah.
Yeah. But then when we get to the beginning of this episode, she's just right back to same old Ahsoka from before the last episode.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And they don't even reference or talk about anything that happened in the last episode. So that was kind of irritating. And then the funniest part, the cherry on top of this stupid sundae is when they let Sabine go and say, Ezra's out there, you go find him. And she just happens to go in the right direction on this planet. And within like, you know, a few minutes in the time of the show is probably like maybe a couple hours. She comes across the rock Ninja Turtles and ends up finding them. Like, I was like, that is a Guinness Book World Record of somebody finding a needle in a haystack on a planet. You know, and you know, how could Thrawn not have taken him out or found him that easy during this whole time, which also didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So there were several frustrating moments like that. And then when she finally meets up with Ezra, it's like, finally, after all this time, I finally found you. That whole moment fell flat. It had like no emotion. It wasn't like a big moment. There wasn't like tears and like, oh my God, like I finally am seeing you. We're finally like together again. You know, it was just like, hey, like, what's up? It felt flat. It didn't feel earned. It felt like they just put in a cheat code for this episode, and everything was just freely given, and none of it felt earned. And that's pretty much overall the episode. I don't know how I feel about the stormtroopers with the gladiator face helmet from Roman
Enoch.
yeah. that kind of pulled me out a little bit, but it is also like, it's more of like a nitpick, you know. It's kind of cool. I just don't know if it really fits in Star Wars. So yeah, overall, I gave the episode a 6 out of
Okay, all
10.
right. Well, settle in. I'm going to review it now as well. No, right. So, yeah, you're completely right, and some of your thoughts mirrored mine. If you were to watch the last episode and this episode back to back, Ahsoka the White, as she was supposed to turn into, complete whiplash. She was happy, she was good. Now she's all moody again. I'm like, for goodness
Yeah.
sake, like, come on, like, get a character arc and stick with it. So that really frustrated me.
Mm.
The get into the planet. I actually really liked the eye of Sauron coming out of hyperspace because of
Yeah, it was
the
a cool
visual effects.
visual. Yeah.
Well, I thought the sort of strands coming off of it were quite cool. The sort of electricity and stuff. I liked that. That was good actually. I liked that a lot. We spent significantly more time with Balin this episode, and I loved it. Just give me a movie with him. Obviously, they can't now, and it's tragic because of Rey.
I agree.
But if it criminally underused, so good. The subtle nuance in his performance, absolutely great. He really knows those beats. Just hold a beat, move. Hold a beat, move. Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely great. Can't fault his performance. His performance overshadows everyone. It puts everyone to shame.
100%.
So the Night Sisters, fine, grandmothers, whatever they're called. Are they called grandmothers? What are they called?
Yeah, they called the main one grandmother, and
Right,
then
okay.
I guess the other ones were like just regular Night
Whatevers.
Sisters or something.
Yeah, I like the planet. I thought that was quite cool. It's weird how every dead planet in the Star Wars universe still has bandits running around, though. I find that odd. And,
Every planet has their own version of the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, and they did make similar noises to the Tusken Raiders
Yeah.
as well, which annoyed me. The cheap Tusken Raiders were literally wearing like samurai armor, which I was like, yeah, I get it's inspired by it, but stop it now. Like, you don't need to take things like for like. And the whole Thrawn. I don't really care that he's got a paunch belly. I don't really care about any of that. I did think his characterization was a little bit off, because if he's some grand strategist, only intent on the mission, only focusing on the mission, the inevitability is that, you know, his mission is going to be thwarted now by Ezra and Sabine because he didn't take out Ezra, right? And so that's an oversight of his characterization and who he should be in this series. So that was crap.
Yep, 100%.
I thought the performance was quite good, though. Very sort of cold, calculated. I don't have any other experience with the character, though. So, you know, I did a Thrawn explained video. That is essentially how I learned about the character.
I actually watched it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought you did a good job doing a breakdown on it.
Thanks very much. It was as concise as I could make it. I mean, you can go real deep on this character. I learned.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not going to do
definitely.
that.
Yeah, his
I'll be there
ship
for like 2 hours.
Yeah, his ship, the Chimera or Crimea. People pronounce it differently, but man, when that thing showed up on screen, man, it has seen better days. Like, it was cool to see, but God, man, that thing looked like it came straight out of a junkyard. It didn't look menacing at all. It looked like it was like on its last wheel, you know.
But I think that's kind of the point, though, isn't it? Because it is showing them at their weakest capacity at that point.
Yeah.
But I liked the imagery of it coming down.
Yeah.
And the bay hanger coming over the tower top.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
The weird dog, bat, horse creature, rat thing. That was completely unearned. Like, I get it. They're trying to play up to the fact that it's like a dog, you know. But she has this connection with it suddenly. Get away from it. I don't care about that.
Oh, it was so dumb when it was like coming back and she was like yelling at it. You left me. Like, it's just an animal. You're talking to it like it's a person, like it's, has.
But it understood it. It understood her like a person as well. And I'm like, no,
I was like,
I'm not
what's
interested.
happening here?
Not interested with that. So that
Yeah.
annoyed me. And then yeah, look, I didn't care about that. I thought the Ninja Turtles were quite cool. I quite like them.
Yeah. I didn't bother them. I wasn't bothered by them. I just thought they were
Yeah.
a little cartoonish and
Yes, I'll agree with you
silly.
there, but I think they're as cartoonish as the likes of Yoda was when we initially saw Yoda, because he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really cartoonish. So I didn't really hate them, and the meeting was absolutely anticlimactic and pathetic. The standout Balin and the power that's drawing him, and the little stuff you learn about Balin. I was just a bit older than you when my entire world was burnt to the ground. Do I miss
Mm.
it? Blah blah blah. Oh, that's amazing. What,
Yeah,
like, again? Just give me that. Give me a movie of
every time
that.
he's on screen talking, it's just like, just leave, just don't
Yeah,
turn the channel from
yeah,
this. Just leave it
yeah.
here.
Well, I'm also quite enjoying his apprentice as well, because he turned to her and was like, "No, you have been trained to be more." And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on there then? More than the Jedi, more than the Sith. What is he? Like, what is it? And what's the power that's calling to him? All of that I quite liked. But
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else,
His
eh.
his apprentice has actually kind of moved up on the scale for me a
Mm.
little bit after this last episode because I wasn't really a fan
But
of
they didn't
her
they
in
didn't
the
do anything
first.
with her.
No,
She was just waddling around with a lightsaber. It was a bit,
yeah,
oh, whatever. But now, yeah, good, good. I think, like,
yeah,
that character and Balin, criminally underused. I've got 2 episodes left, haven't we? 8 episodes.
yeah. Two left. Like
That's crap.
I don't know how they're gonna wrap up in
But I
two
don't think they are.
episodes.
I think the movie's going to wrap it up.
Yeah,
But inevitably, what's going to happen? All right, no, let's talk about the stormtroopers. They're dead, aren't they? Of course, they're dead.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that's
Dead magic. I think that was kind of foreshadowed with the Marok character
yeah,
and the Night Sisters' magic powers, and
yeah.
so
I
yeah,
didn't
I
like
think they're all smoke.
I didn't like the fact that every single one of their armor is smashed up. I think that's crap. It's just what they all of their armor is broken. Is it all of it?
Yeah, like
Every last one of them.
yeah, that was where I was like, I didn't really know how to feel about the stormtrooper armor because Thrawn is
Mm,
very disciplined and likes things in order, and
yeah,
everything with all the stormtroopers seemed completely undisciplined and out of order.
yeah,
So that was another thing that seemed a little bit out of character for Thrawn.
yeah. What do we think's in the pods that they're loading on?
Man, that's a good question. I was wondering about that. I'm guessing it's probably
Because
something to do with
they're
maybe
they're loading it from the Night Sisters Tower, aren't they?
yeah, from the
Onto the
catacombs.
ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that then? What they look like people-sized pods for starters.
Yeah, I maybe it's more dead bodies and they're going to use the Night Sister magic to bring them back to life for the add
Why'd
to
they
the
be in
zombie
pods
army or
though?
something.
Why would they be
I
in pods though?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, if that was the case, why would they not just have
Mm,
already done that and already had everybody with imbued with the Night
yeah.
Sister magic at this point?
Do you reckon they're chiss? Maybe they're more chiss.
It's possible, but out here in this other galaxy,
Don't know.
I don't know.
More Night Sisters, maybe.
That's a possibility.
But then
It
why would
could
they
be
not just be
something
awake?
else. It could be something else that's like, um, something that has to do with like anti-force, sort of like in the books he had the little creature that no force user would be able to use the force around Thrawn because the little creature that he
Yeah.
had, it might be something along those lines, or who knows. They're cherry picking stuff out of the Heir to the Empire Thrawn trilogy I just don't know how much they're pulling from those books in the show. So yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine on what's in there. I guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be. I'm to wrap up my review. It was better than last week's episode, in my view. Baylan stand out, and I'm looking forward to the next episode primarily because I want to know what is calling to Baylan. That's intriguing to me.
Yeah.
So there you go. Not much else really to say on it.